Welcome back to the deep dive.
Oh,
We're diving into the world of shadow hunters and downworlders this time.
Oh, cool.
So, those of you familiar with Cassandra Clare, we're talking about City of Ashes,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series.
Okay, cool. So you're jumping right into the second book.
Yeah.
I like it.
I know, why not?
Bold.
Got to keep you on your toes, right?
Right.
So this one's got it all.
Okay.
We've got shadow hunters, we've got downworlders, forbidden romance, and more twists and turns than you can shake a seraph blade at.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's a second book in a series. You got to have some surprises in there. You can't just, rehash what happened in the first book.
Right, exactly.
You got to keep people guessing,
Yeah, keep them hooked.
Hooked, yeah. What I really enjoy about this book, though, is that Cassandra Clare doesn't just, give us a straightforward sequel. She expands on the world that she built in City of Bones, like delves deeper into its history, the complex rules, that kind of govern this hidden society, and the precarious balance between the mundane world, our world, and the supernatural undercurrents that are flowing beneath it.
Right, and just for those who might need a little refresher, on City of Bones, because we're jumping in here.
I got to know the basics.
Yeah, what are the basics that we need to kind of remember?
Okay, so City of Bones, we meet Clary Frey, and she discovers that, she's not just a normal teenager, right?
Sure.
There's something special about her, and her life, just took a huge turn. Turns out she's descended from a long line of shadow hunters.
Okay.
So, these elite warriors who dedicate their lives to protecting humanity from demons.
Okay, so that's where we get into, shadow hunters. So those are the good guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. They're the ones who see themselves as the protectors.
Right.
Right.
Protecting humanity from demons.
Yes, exactly.
And then, of course, there's the downworlders.
Yes. Right. Like, who are these downworlders?
Yeah. Give us a little more on those.
Okay, so the downworlders are like, creatures like vampires, werewolves, fairies.
Okay.
They exist, alongside humans, but they have their own kind of society's rules.
Gotcha.
It's a whole hidden world within our world.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of the cool thing about this series.
Yeah, and I like that because they're not like, completely evil.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, they're the bad guys.
Right.
They're just different.
They're different, and, there's this inherent conflict between them and the shadow hunters, right?
Yeah.
Because the shadow hunters see themselves as the protectors, and so they're always kind of like keeping an eye on the downworlders, making sure they're not stepping out of line.
Right. Got to maintain the balance, right?
Exactly.
And of course, we can't talk about City of Bones without mentioning Jace Wayland.
Oh, Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves Jace.
The brooding bad boy with a heart of gold, or maybe just more bad boy.
I mean, he's definitely got that whole mysterious, vibe going on that just draws you in, right?
Yeah, it's that whole bad boy but secretly a good guy thing. It's like catnip for readers.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he's incredibly skilled, as a shadow hunter too, so it's like the whole package.
Yeah, but of course, just as things are, heating up between him and Clary,
Right.
they uncover this massive secret.
Oh, yeah.
They might be siblings.
Yeah, that does put a bit of a damper on things, doesn't it?
Yeah, talk about a wrench in the romance department.
Right. Like, how do you come back from that?
It's like, oh, okay, so maybe not.
Yeah, forbidden love taken to a whole new level.
Yeah, big time. So City of Ashes picks up with Clary, trying to wrap her head around this whole shadow hunter life, this whole world that she's been thrown into. Her confusing feelings for Jace.
Right, which are extra confusing now.
Right, exactly.
Given the whole sibling situation.
Yeah, and then on top of all that, there's a murder mystery.
Oh, yeah.
That rocks the entire shadow hunter world.
Like, throws everything into chaos.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So what's the murder mystery here?
Okay, so the Silent Brothers, those like wise, almost monk-like figures.
Mm-hmm.
They're the keepers of all the Shadowhunter laws, history. They're like the librarians of the Shadowhunter world.
Okay.
Well, they turn up murdered.
Oh, wow.
And that sends shockwaves through the entire community.
That's got to be a huge deal because they're like the keepers of everything, right?
Yeah.
All the knowledge, all the history.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just that they were murdered.
Yeah.
It's the way they were murdered. It's brutal. It's ritualistic. It's like a message.
Like a warning sign.
Oh, yeah. Like someone is making a statement.
Okay, so that's That's a great place to stop, I think, for today.
Okay, so we got murder, mystery, and mayhem already.
Yeah, just in the first, like, what, 10 pages?
That's how you hook a reader.
We will be back next week to, finish this deep dive into City of Ashes and find out who's behind all this chaos and, how these characters are going to navigate this whole mess.
Oh, it's going to be good. Can't wait. And, it's not just, the murder itself that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like what it represents, right? It's
Hmm.
like someone's trying to shake the very foundation of the Shadowhunter world.
Yeah, and we find out pretty quickly that someone is none other than Valentine Morgenstern.
Oh, Valentine Morgenstern?
This guy is like the ultimate Shadowhunter gone rogue.
Yeah, he's bad news. Like,
Yeah.
seriously bad news.
Like Voldemort level bad.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and guess what? He's Jace's father.
Oh, no wonder Jace is so messed up.
All right, talk about Jaddy issues.
Yeah, no kidding.
So what's Valentine's, what's his big evil plan?
Well, he wants to reshape the world,
Okay,
according to his own twisted vision.
and how's he going to do that?
Well, he's obsessed with these things called the mortal instruments, or these ancient artifacts with immense magical power.
Like weapons?
Kind of, but more like tools that can control both demons and shadow hunters.
Oh, wow. So he wants to control everybody.
Basically.
That's not good.
Oh, not good at all.
And of course, things get even more complicated with all the relationship drama going on.
Oh, yeah, this wouldn't be a YA novel without a love triangle.
Right. Clary's still trying to figure out her feelings for Jace.
Which, now that they know they're not siblings,
Yeah.
things could get interesting.
Yeah, maybe a little less creepy now.
Definitely.
But then there's Simon.
Oh, poor Simon.
He's totally in love with Clary.
And he's going through his own, transformation.
Yeah, he's dealing with being a vampire.
It's tough, trying to adjust to this new life, all these new powers, new cravings.
And the whole not being able to go out in the sun thing.
That's got to be a bummer.
Yeah, especially for a teenager.
Right. Like, how do you even have a social life?
Exactly. And thinking of teenagers, we get introduced to another one in this book, Maya.
Oh, Maya. Yeah, she's a werewolf.
Yeah, she's tough. She's independent. She's got a rough life.
Definitely not your typical damsel in distress.
No, not at all. She can handle herself.
But even she's not immune to Valentine's manipulations.
Right. And speaking of manipulations, Valentine decides he needs an army.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But instead of recruiting, willing participants,
Right.
he decides to take a more forceful approach.
Oh, no. What's he up to now?
He wants to use the mortal instruments
Yeah.
to create shadow hunters.
Create them.
Yeah, but not from scratch.
Okay, I'm intrigued, also scared.
Yeah, he wants to, forcibly convert downworlder children into shadow hunters.
Whoa, hold on. He's gonna turn downworlder kids into shadow hunters.
Yep.
That's messed up on so many levels.
Yeah, it's like taking away their free will, their identity, everything that makes them who they are.
It's like he wants to erase them and replace them with something else.
Yeah, and who does he choose for this twisted experiment?
Don't tell me.
Simon and Maya.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Yeah, Valentine kidnaps them and takes them to his creepy boat.
A boat. Really? That's his evil lair.
Yeah, it's like a giant floating fortress.
Okay, that's kind of cool in a supervillain kind of way.
Yeah, but it's also where everything comes to a head.
Like the final battle.
Yeah, Clary, Jace, and the gang team up to try and rescue Simon and Maya and stop Valentine once and for all.
So it's like an all-out war on this boat.
Pretty much, yeah. Demons, shadow hunters, werewolves, vampires. It's crazy.
I bet the fight scenes are intense.
Oh, yeah. Cassandra Clare doesn't hold back when it comes to action.
I can imagine. Lots of sword fights, magical blasts, and snarky one-liners.
Exactly. It's a wild ride.
So who wins?
Oh, that's the question, isn't it? We'll have to wait for part 3 to find out. All right, so we're back.
Back again.
And, things did not end well on Valentine's creepy boat.
No, they did not.
So big explosion, lots of chaos, and we're left wondering who survived.
Yeah, it's like who's gonna come crawling out of the wreckage?
Exactly, and Clary wakes up.
Oh yeah, poor Clary. She's been through a lot.
She has, and she's, surrounded by the aftermath of this battle.
Right, it's gotta be pretty traumatizing.
Yeah, but she's not alone. She's got Jace there. She's got Luke.
Okay, at least she has some support.
Yeah, and wait for it, Simon.
Simon, he's alive.
He is, but not the same Simon.
What do you mean? What happened to him?
Well, Valentine with his whole ritual and the soul sword and and Simon's blood.
Right, right, that whole mess.
Yeah, well, it seems like all of that combined with the rising sun, had a bit of an unexpected
So
effect.
the ritual actually worked.
In a way, yes, Simon's a daylighter now.
A daylighter? You mean like a vampire who can walk in the sun?
Exactly.
Whoa, that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So wait, is he like cured of being a vampire?
Not exactly. He's still a vampire. He still has all the powers and cravings, but he's not, limited by sunlight anymore.
I mean, that's got to be a huge relief for him, right? No more hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, but it also, creates a whole new set of challenges.
Like what?
Well, for starters, he doesn't really fit in anywhere anymore.
Right, he's not quite a vampire, not quite a shadow hunter, not quite human either.
Yeah, he's kind of in this in-between space.
I bet that's pretty lonely.
Yeah, it is. And on top of all that, there's still the question of Valentine.
Oh, did he survive the explosion?
That's the million-dollar question.
Because, he's a slippery one.
He is. He always has a plan, always 10 steps ahead.
It's hard to believe he'd go down that easily.
It is. And there are hints, there are little clues that maybe he's not gone for good.
Oh, man, that's creepy.
Yeah, it is.
So what happens next?
Well, that's for another deep dive, another time.
Aw, come on, you can't leave us hanging like that.
I know. But you'll have to wait for the next book in the series to find out what happens to Clary, Jace, Simon, and the rest of the gang.
Fine, but I'm holding you to that.
You got it.
All right, well, this has been an awesome deep dive.
It has. We've talked about Shadowhunters, Downworlders, Forbidden Romance, murder, mystery, and mayhem.
And don't forget the explosions.
Oh, yeah, can't forget those.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. And, I think City of Ashes really takes everything that was great about City of Bones and just, amps it up to 11.
Totally agree. Cassandra Clare knows how to keep you on the edge of your seat.
She does. And,
Oh.
if you haven't read this series yet, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a must-read for any urban fantasy fan.
Absolutely.
So until next time, keep diving deep.
And don't forget to check out our social media for more discussion about City of Ashes and all things Shadowhunters.